Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the Altcoin Express and my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida. So this is what all the waiting is about. It dumped again, these penny ante idiots who keep dumping the stock, which is good for me because it doesn't matter how low it goes, it'll get bought up and there'll be a sell-off point and you gain something. So it's currently sitting over here on around 3% up. And the rate of climb is insignificant. The volume here is too low for it to go really anywhere, but they are trending up, and who knows? You never know when this coin will just go ballistic and start spiking up. It can go anywhere. Really, there's no kind of 5, 10, 15, 20, it's 25. It's within the ballpark of where this can ballistically go if the volume gets under it. This volume won't take it anywhere. But there are a bunch of people getting interested, and it might take a little while to recoup a base of then it attacking. I'm setting this framework on here. Oops, we can't see it. This is the trading view window. I'm setting that. Okay, that line is 5%. Oh, I hate these damn things. The magic of all this is if it takes up, it goes up for a certain period of time, usually about an hour, 15 minutes and the like, and we know how many blocks it goes up. So let's have a look at it. 3. It's suggesting it's starting to move, and it's 5. Generally speaking, if it follows the pattern of the norms, it will go up 15 5-minute blocks and 3 and 5 15-minute blocks. So there's the second 15-minute block. I mean, if it really goes up, it's how far it goes is not relative to the time frame. It will go up an infinite amount in the same time frame. What I'm saying is the time frame is what the predictor is. If it goes up for an hour and 15 minutes, it can go up 10%, it can go up 50%. It's all going to happen in the same time frame. So you know where the window of opportunity for sell-off is. And so we're going to watch this on the bottom just to see how it's doing. And this is starting to look like a buy-up. Let's go over to the trading view window and watch it over there. Once you get some experience, you kind of know where it's going, and this is starting to gather now. People are getting underneath it. The volume hasn't gone up, but this is the 24-hour average volume, and that may not have caught up with anything yet. So we will keep a look on the 15 and the 5s. So it's in its second 5, second 15. And then it's, what are we going to call this? Well, I tend to not call those anything. So that's 1, 2, like about 3 5s. I don't think it's necessarily going to go up ballistically, but hey, it's just crossed 5% up, which is good. There's one thing that you can pretty much guarantee with this coin is when it peaks out, it will pretty much come down to the bottom, or there's a significant way down there. So this is what we wait around day upon night in and day out for, to see if this will go off like a rocket. And I like to check the minute thing here, because as long as we're going up without any red on the minute, a little bit of red on the minute, then and this will kind of peter out before. Let's just stay on here for a bit. It's good to kind of get a bird's eye view of this. Move over here so we're beyond our 5%. The rising, what is this now, 30-day moving average will show signs of tending over when it kind of peaks-ish, although it's trailing. So I'm going to put this on hold and see what happens. Okay, back over to the trading window. Now, you have to judge when it's time to sell off. and that is just feel experience. Watch the 1 minute window and the other thing to see if it's it will have some sell-offs along the way, so you have to kind of get through these. It can have 2 significant sell-offs if it's really rocketing up, but we're not really catching the 24-hour volume move. It's moving a little bit, but then it's averaged over 24 hours, so it is starting to go up. And as long as there's no big blocks in here, they're intermittent, then yeah, it will tend. Yeah, no, there was a sell-off. A bit darker here, so we're having a little bit of sell-off there. That's okay. These are the sells over here. This support over here. So I'll put it on hold, wait for a bit. As long as it's got some big support blocks here, it's not going to go down. And when these clowns up here dump out and we get rid of them, then there's room to move up. So here's a good test. Oh, it kind of vanished. There was a big block there, but it kind of got put on and got taken off. If this is a major buy up rather than a pump and dump, it will go up for an hour at least. So you can just sit back. If it doesn't make that, then it's just probably not worth bothering with. Although if there's a good signal to get out, we'll get out. It's at 5. So it's been going up for half an hour, 7% in half an hour. That pegs it around 14%. That's a good estimate, first estimate of where it's going to. So just keep a note on. So I like to put numbers in over here. We've got a rate of 7% in half an hour. If this goes the whole hog, then presumably the rate's about the same. 1100, 15% might be the threshold of the top of this if it continues. So this is starting to look like a pretty major buy up on there and on the trading window. Starting to hit some resistance, but as long as there's a base of support beneath it, then that's not going to matter. And it's really kind of judging this on the fly, because if it stalls, you have to make the decision it's stalled, it's not going to get through this shit, and just sell off immediately. Just experience and then getting lucky. So we want to look at these sell-offs. There's the first sell-off. This is prospectively the second sell-off. If that is considered to be the second sell-off, then that's a signal that it may not be going too far up beyond that, because it usually only goes to about a third challenge unless the volume under it changes dramatically. Oh, we're back to bright again. So basically you really have to watch a lot of this and then just let your brain do its clever bit and tells you now time to get out. And it usually does that with me. I mean, you can be wrong, but right now there's no signals that it needs to get out. So I'm starting to get a feeling now that it's kind of peaking-ish, which means it may make another challenge, and that will be all she wrote. Yeah, my brain is saying this is the end of it. It makes one more challenge, then get out on the next upside run. So this is the second sell-off, and this is it. You can see the green arcing now. So this is the peak. We'll find somewhere to sell off. Now this is dynamic, which means it's changing all the time. We have a base of support underneath it. So for now we'll just hang out and see what happens. There's nothing like experience, and the best way to get experience is to just sit in front of it and watch what it does and let your brain get information such that it can work out, we'll just wait around a bit, or time to get out, or whatever. In this case, it has the potential to go up, and we really want it to go up. Obviously, it would be premature to sell off right now and try and get a piddly rebuy. I buy back a few percent below. That's really not on the cards of one's interests, especially since I'm going to be selling everything off. I want to be sure that it's gone up far enough such that it's going to go down a good ways and it will be worth my risk. Nothing's guaranteed here, but it's not impossible for it to have this little sell-off, gather its base, and then just rocket up. And that's what we're waiting for. That's the big happening, and when that happens, it's crystal clear as to when to get out. Another point is it's not just being bought out on this exchange, it's being bought out on Bitcoin, on these other exchanges. Bittrex is another exchange, and these other minor exchanges. So there are two big exchanges here, Bittrex and Binance. They get connected to individual coins. In this case, it's connected to Bitcoin. And this is connected to Bitcoin, and this is the Ethereum one, which I've got. And so there's two big blocks above us, which are helping to push this along. It's just not this little one here. So where one goes, the other goes. So if one of these lot take it up, then everybody will follow suit. Another gauge of things is to put this decimals from its current trading window, where you can see the current support out to its 5 decimal setting, see what the size of that block is down here. Now that's not particularly high. I mean, it's not going to support a lot of sell-off, and it doesn't really represent how many people are interested to kind of buy up the market either. When you've got a bigger number up here relative to that number up there, it's good. So right now it's kind of unclear. So as long as we've got big lots of green below here, the dumpers don't make it go down, they just dump into a resistance level. When all the dumpers have gone, then it just goes up, and it'll go up until there's a threshold of nobody wants to buy it up anymore. So I'll keep looking back at the 5 decimal window. We are steadily gaining at this group. That is an important thing. More people are getting to be aware that this is making a move, coming in underneath it, and that's fine. They don't make the market go up. They just stop it going down to a great degree. It's the people who push it up. So it's quite active. We're building a continuous increasing base for the moment. So steady as she goes. So, on the trading view window, it's kind of gone sideways a bit. It's not going to have much more upside, so I think we pick a point and we just get out. See how things change. We've got support, and there isn't a lot of people wanting to get out now, so this could take up another rush. Just have to wait and see how this lower block has dramatically increased. It was around 200 or 300, now it's up to 800,000. That's a very good sign in terms of going up. So it's hovering about 7% up right now, but it's quite possible that this just goes ballistic, and that 7% becomes 20. So it's not necessarily going to happen, but it could happen. Okay, I'm going to take half of it out because I think it's peaking, and we'll see how it goes. So I sold half of it out at about 6.55% up. So I've sold off, or I put up for sale the last batch, because this is quite clearly all over now, and it's all gone. I've sold it all off. It's all down from here. That was good timing. I think we got in pretty good. It's just a matter to see what happens in the aftermath. So we're back on TradingView, and you know, it made one peak, and given the struggle it took to get up there and peak now, I think it's all over. But the crying for those who didn't get out, as once it starts to go, it will do a serious dive down. Then there will be a kind of a potential kind of buyback a bitish, and then it'll eventually, knowing this coin, wander down to ground zero or very close to it. So there's a good opportunity for me to pick up some downside, rebuy, and gain something. And I've got 30,000 in here, so 1% is $1,000. 1% is 300. If it goes down 3%, the backswing on the upside is gain of $1,000. Another classic sign is on this very sensitive setting of 1 minute, when the 180-degree moving average moves above the 30-day moving average. You see it was above here, then it started to go above in its buy up. Once that crosses that, that's Death Valley. That's all over and done with. And it just comes with tons and tons of experience, sitting in front of these things hour upon hour upon hour, getting the feel. I knew when it was coming up here that it was a bit premature, better wait for the better gain, and it had a lot of people sold off and said, no, it's not ready yet. If it doesn't make it up, it's not even worth bothering with. But then the second challenge was quite clear that that is where it was all over and done with. Experience told you that, and then it's time to get out. And I put them into the buy upside, so I didn't dump it to the downside. They bought up into me and got my money, and then it's hello, goodbye, here we go down. So we can go and look at what prices I sold it off at. We come into trading history, and we'll see the sell-offs here. So I can just plonk those numbers down. So this, I sold them in halves. It's kind of a protectionist thing. If you're wrong, then you're only half wrong. So the first block was sold off at here, 0.0001072, and the second block as it came down, 1015. Get that number right. I've got to do it again. My relative 10172 and 10152. That's pretty tight range for kind of getting the peak. Now we can go and look. Let's look on the other window. It's easier to kind of see it there, since it's, and I'll just put some light on the scene. Not too much. So we're between 1.5. We'll go 1016 is between the two, and we can see where we sold off. 101. 101. Let's get out of here. Let's drop a line. I like dropping lines. 1016 we want. 1016. I'll draw that line in here. Okay, so that's the point at which I sold off, just under that peak. Second challenge. This is not unusual for attempt to make another comeback. Classically, if it doesn't get above here, then that's all she wrote. And you'll notice that the red line is coming on. Well, they do try and do this, and sometimes it'll just go away from you, but we will see. Another telltale is this classic decline in the volume here. Once that's going down, there's no way it's going up. It doesn't have the power to push it up. It's like weightlifting. You've got to have some power to get it up, and you haven't got any. So it's just a matter of waiting for everything to kind of go belly up here. Now, the value of what you've got on hand relates to what Ethereum and Bitcoin is doing. So it relates to what Bitcoin is doing, because Ethereum will do the same, and Bitcoin is having another challenge at its former peak. I can't see anything further back than there, but it's in play, and this thing tends to go for long periods of time. So you can see what the game is here. It's kind of, there's not much gain or loss here, but Bitcoin is definitely on an upswing and looking to make gains up to the 10,000 barrier, which it wants to get to, and it will challenge its way up there whenever it can. And these things tend to go for many hours. I mean, we've got it on a day setting here, but we come more locally. It's a bit not enough. Let's go a bit more out. Yeah, this is kind of the hour range. It's had a bit of a sell-off, and it's reached a certain sell-off, and the bulls want to get back, so they're back into buying up again. And as we've said, Ethereum tends to outdo Bitcoin. Ethereum's had a good sell-off. Now this is a good place to be. I've just sold off. I'm in Ethereum. Ethereum is going to have a buy-up to some extent. And if the coin goes down, then that's all to the good. Because I'm gaining in cash value being out of the altcoin and in Ethereum while the price goes up, and hopefully that other thing goes down. So back on TradingView, we can see it's kind of crested again, and this crossover between the 180-day moving average and the 30-day moving average on its most sensitive setting at 1 minute is about to be breached, and that's a good sign that this is all over and done with. There is some resistance below it, but I mean that's not going to last forever. So efficiency, how well we did. The peak, top peak was at relative 10294. Our peak average was 10162. We gained 82.26% efficiency in getting out at the top. So you can see the major sell-off has started. That orange line is where we sold off as average, and it's now below that, and there's no way it will ever return again. It's just a matter of waiting the downside period out and guessing a buy-in point. I'd be more than happy to buy in 3% down, or relative, actually 3% up from where I buy back in to where I sold it off would be luxurious, because that's about $1,000, and that's not trivial money. So that's how it's done. All the fun's over, it's coming down, and this new line I've dropped here is a 3% gain from me, for me. If I buy back in here, when it gets back up to my sell-off, that's a 3% gain. And we have a number for the market. Ooh, we're bright. Holy crow, this really fries my eyes. Right. So given Ethereum's current value, that's the current holding, 33,050. And if we get that buy-in, then that will be more. And of course, as Ethereum goes up, it'll be more anyway. So, and Verge has got a humongous upside. It really has not done a ballistic sell buy-up yet. So, lots of potential for gain here. So, I'm signing off here. Hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.